Back to David and Nina now.
All right, thank you, James. And I just heard that one of our reporters, Joe McCoy, is at a mobile home park in Kelowna.
It's actually Charles Hart, and this is right across the street from that Kelowna gas station, the Shell that we saw all that damage at. Charles, what are you seeing and what are you hearing from people there?
Yeah, David, and you are correct. It is actually just across the street from that 7-Eleven and the Shell that was severely damaged from those high winds that we just received. So let's take a little walk here and see the damage to this mobile home. It's actually slanted to my left, slanted down, that is, to my left. And our News 8 reporter, Cesar Sanchez, that is currently on the scene helping us out gather information, said that there were 3 people inside, and he spoke with the owner, who asked not to be on camera. She said she was home when she felt her home get lifted up and slammed back down to the ground. Most of her stuff that's inside is now on the side of the home and damaged. She says she just bought the house last year and has no insurance, and says she's going to move out as soon as possible. And once again, as you can see, that this house is completely slanted down to the left. And of course, the owner said she didn't want to be on camera and that she's going to, again, try to move out as soon as possible. That's all the information we have on this mobile home at this moment, and we will send it back to you guys right now back in the studio.
You know, Charles, since you have the gas station behind you that has all that damage, talk to us a little bit about what it was, what you saw, and give us a little bit of an update on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to updated information, of course, there were 2 people that were inside, and they actually fled to the back offices, as officials told me from Kelowna Fire Department. And that's what they're saying is actually what potentially saved their lives, was being in those back offices and those interior rooms inside the building. And as you can still see, there are still Kelowna first responders on the scene. And we don't have any other updated information at this very moment, other than that there were 2 people that were able to be rescued safely, and there are no reported injuries at this time. David?
All right, Charles, thank you so much for that update, and we'll check back in with you in just a moment. I do want to get to some breaking news from the city of Silvis. They're asking everyone to avoid the area of 10th Street, south of the Avenue of the Cities, between 28th and 31st Avenue. They said there's several down power lines, so they have crews that are trying to block off the road. They said you're not going to make it through. Again, we've been talking about this over and over again. If you do see those down power lines, A, report it, and then B, stay away from it.
And I wish we could have said this to Charles real quick. Charles, if you can hear us anyway, please do not step in any of those puddles. There are a lot of down power lines over there. But we are going to take it now to Joe McCoy, our other reporter who is in Moline by that establishment, who has basically no roof left. Joe?
Yeah, Nina, the Belgrade here, as you said, its roof has been completely torn off. As you see a brick here, this is from the roof that is now across the street, about 30 yards from the restaurant. But Moline City officials telling me that an excavator will be here as soon as possible to hopefully tear the rest of the roof off of the Belgrade, so that way when the next storm comes in, hopefully there won't be debris that can fly around. So they're bringing out some very large machinery. You can hear in the background one truck is already here, but they're trying to get the scene cleared up for when the next storm comes later this evening.
Joe, if you could tell us a little bit, I know the traffic was down to 1 lane for a little bit of time. It's now back open right now. Talk about what you saw when you first arrived on scene. I mean, we saw bricks on both sides of the street.
Yeah, well, David, to actually correct you, the traffic has now been blocked on both sides. So north and southbound traffic is completely blocked, and that's because they are bringing these excavator trucks out here to try to clear the rest of the restaurant of any debris so it doesn't fly. But when I got here on scene, David, I mean, it's really... See the owner of the Belgrade here, he was taking pictures. I think some of his family members were with him as well. So it's just an emotional scene. This is an establishment that has been in Moline for decades. And now to see it in this condition, it's really tough for the city of Moline. We also talked to a resident who lives only a couple blocks away from here. He said he's dined at the Belgrade many of times before, and just to see it in this condition it's tough to see, especially because this is probably going to be months and months and lots of money to repair.
Oh, Joe, thank you so much. It is absolutely devastating to see the roof ripped off of a building again, and I can't imagine what's going through that business owner's mind right now. It has to be emotional.
And going back to, safety is #1, but these businesses that are just losing these kind of things, I mean, that's going to be a long-term toll.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if we could take it back really quick to the Black Hawk statue that is now on the ground.
Yeah, we've seen that large Black Hawk statue that has been up.
Right.
Take a look at this.
And I would just like to point out that there has been a lot of issues over this. Vincent Thomas with the Native American Society in the Quad Cities was the group fighting against having this statue stay or be donated to the city of Rock Island. They managed to stop that going through. They weren't quite sure what was going to happen to the statue, but now that future is absolutely unclear. I'm not quite sure if it's fully intact, but the base is.
You can, I mean, the whole thing fell over. And you were mentioning it earlier. It's very good that it didn't fall forward, because what do you see in front of it? A road. And that could have hit a vehicle, that could have caused injuries, that could have been a lot worse.
It's just insane that they were going through if they wanted to donate it to the society, if they wanted to donate it to the city, all these different ones, and it appears that Mother Nature kind of took that.
Yeah, I wonder what will happen next with this. And we're seeing just the damage all over the viewing area. It's heartbreaking to see, but again, if you see things, don't try to be, cleaning things up right now. This is the time to still be making sure you're keeping yourself safe. Andrew, let's send it over to you.
All right, thanks, David. I do want to take you out for a live look at some of the ominous.
We do have the latest damage photos coming in from you, the viewer. Take a look at this. I'm not even sure, is this a playground or?
Oh, right on
that
Rock Island.
Yep.
Yeah, it appears just to be a bunch of shutters.
Something. I mean, destroyed. I don't know if it was a
absolutely
shed or if maybe it was a fence, but it just appears, I mean.
It's destroyed to the point that we do not know.
You can't even tell what it was. Wow.
At all.
Oh my gosh.
And once again.
Oh yeah, James pointing
Yeah.
out the power lines that are down in the background. Again, if you do see those, don't go near them. It's not worth it. Make sure you're reporting that right away. We do know over 17,000 people without power on the Illinois side of the Quad Cities. This photo coming from Walnut, Iowa. All that hail.
All of that.
Oh my gosh.
Walnut, Illinois.
Oh, sorry.
And all of that hail, it almost looked like a painting. I wasn't quite sure what we were looking at first. That was just little balls of hail covered.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe even a little larger than that. Right around, looks like close to nickel size too, that took place, yeah.
You just see it
That's a
right
lot.
against the door there. You just.
Morning. Let's take
All
it
right,
back
James.
to David and Nina, please.
Thank you so much, James. We do want to send it right back out to Charles Hart, who is back at that gas station in Kelowna, where we have seen so much damage. Charles.
Yeah, hey David, so let's give you a little update of what we're seeing here on the scene. So Kelowna Fire Department has left the scene, and as you also can see, members of law enforcement are still there. And if you look past that gas station and that building right behind the Shell gas station that was damaged by the severe winds, the roof of that building was almost completely torn off, and you can see some pieces of it sticking up there, and several members of the public here are standing around it looking. We have not got any updates from officials about that specific scene right there. But if you're just tuning in now, I will update you on what happened with the Shell gas station. So of course, as you can see, the middle part of the building has been completely flattened from severe storms, and most likely those severe winds that we just saw. And officials told me that there were 2 people that were trapped in the debris of that incident, and they were able to be safely rescued from the scene. And Kelowna Fire Department officials are also telling me that there are no reported injuries right now, and we will actually go ahead and send it back to you guys in the studio. That's all the information I got for you. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Charles, if we could actually turn the camera around to the trailer park where you were just across the street. It's just incredible. It's just wanting to show this again. We saw a trailer get knocked off of its foundation. Charles, correct me if I'm wrong, you said that this homeowner just bought this home last year.
Yeah, David, you're exactly right. So our fellow WQ80 multi-skilled journalist Cesar Sanchez is helping us gather information out here on the scene. He actually spoke to the owner, who asked not to be on camera, but of course, this, as you can see, this house is completely slanted down to my left, and the owner said that when she was in her home, that she felt the house lift and then slam back down to the ground. And as we just said, she just bought this home last year, and she does not have any insurance, and she told us that she is going to try to move out as soon as possible. So David, will send it back to you on that one.
All right, Charles, thank you so much. Just a devastating scene there. Thank you.
And now we're we're going to go to a live look at Earl Hansen, where there are the Earl Hansen School, where there is apparently a bunch of trees on their ground. This is in the Rock Island Milan School District. Let's take a look.
Yeah, and we do know that the Rock Island Milan School District is dismissing early today because they have no power there. You can see everyone is kind of shuffling out of the school right now. I know that dismissal beginning at 12:30, so they're kind of on their lunch break right now, which started at about 11 o'clock, and they're going to be dismissing here in 30 minutes. And so all practices, games, and activities for the rest of the afternoon, again, canceled because Nina, how many power outages are we seeing?
Yeah, I would like to make a note that when we first started, it was just a little bit over 17,000, and we are right around 18,000 at 17,872 power outages in the Illinois side of the Quad Cities.
Oh, it's just devastating there. We do want to thank our content manager, Jenny Hipskin, for running out there to grab this live shot for us. Again, just devastating to see all of
Devastating, and every time we refresh, we just see a few more adding up. So
yeah.
If you run out of power, make sure, we've talked about this all week about having a plan. And
Yes.
This is the time that you really need to bring that out. If it's a bag, batteries, radio, anything you have, go to your basement, a safe place, and have your family together and do everything you've planned for this week.
Again, this is just could be part one of what we could see later on this evening. So again, I just want to reiterate, download that News 8 app in your Apple App Store, on Google Play, enable those location settings so that you can stay in the know and get a personalized forecast for your direct location.
And if you can stay inside, absolutely stay inside. Stay away from windows, keep your animals indoors, and please, please stay safe in these storms. We hope you have a great day.
Thank you for joining us.